3 actions, 3 Gullveigs. It fits, right? This is a mess. We're going to get into this. Let's talk about the units and jump right in with Kvasir. And wow. First off, we've seen her art. I actually really do like this. I think this looks great. The colors are great and all of that stuff. So we see Cav movement and all that great stuff. We have so much text that it barely fits on one page with just 2 skills. Yeah, we've reached that point. Let's jump in. This is a really interesting weapon. So we have Insipid Kvasir. This is Slang, Omni +5, inflicts speed res minus 15% of speed on the enemy. You have special acceleration, no follow-up, 70% damage reduction on the first attack, and that includes brave attacks, and then you have panic on the enemy, and that's AoE panic. So already we're off to a good start, right? This is about what we saw in the Tempest trial. The one addition here is the inflict speed res minus 15% of speed. So she gets more speed than she was getting, which is good. These units, these defense mythics in particular, really need that. And if you didn't see, this was a dark mythic that had a speed that gave speed to all the allies, which is fantastic, is exactly what you need. Okay, so that's Insipid Kvasir. Light is Time gets interesting, and I swear, so I start off these things and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write this in a more simplified version, and then they give you this thing here. So first off, we get boost damage by 60% of attack when you proc, of course. You get Null Guard. It's interesting that they're putting more and more effects into specials, and I think we're gonna see more of that as we go on. And then, if unit initiates and special triggers and unit survives, grants to the highest HP unit within 2 spaces, unless there are 2 units with the highest HP, another action. But they get gravity. So that's actually really good. The gravity thing is hard, but if you have, say, a dancer trap where you're coming in, you're attacking, you have you come in, you dance, you attack, then this unit comes in. That leads to some interesting things. This isn't going to be as clear-cut for Cav lines as I would have wanted, but it's not bad at all. And the other thing in here is if no unit is within that space, you get Times Gate. And Times Gate is allies within 4 spaces of unit can move to a space adjacent to unit, that turn only. And that is a little more interesting. And there's where you get into more of the Cav line support. You get an adjacent unit or one that is near it can jump, which is kind of fantastic and is akin to our Wings of Mercy shenanigans, but a little bit better. This unit just has to survive, and this unit is going to be very, very reliant on speed. Both of these Gullveigs are going to be that. Let's go on and look at just the rest of the kit here. We have attack speed catch 4. We have lull speed res 4. This is what we've seen. Inflict speed res minus X on foe. X equals 4 plus number of bonus effects on foe, max of 8. Excludes stat bonuses. And this is particularly important in Dark Season because of Embla, that is the season of Omni Tanks, and Omni Tanks rely on bonuses because Embla throws out Feud, so kind of working in conjunction with her. And then of course neutralizes bonuses on speed and res. So you can see this kit is pretty much built, which is nice. And then we have a new C skill. This is called Incite Attack Speed. At start of turn, if number of allies adjacent to unit is less than or equal to 2, so think Cav lines again. Although Catcher Balls can work this way too, but grants attack speed +6 and incited to unit for 1 turn. And then if number of allies adjacent to unit is less than or equal to 1, grants attack speed +3 to unit during combat. That second part should be in combat, so as long as you're away from the unit. So again, Cav line is what we're looking at here. Cav line or flyer line usually have 1 Cav within a flyer line right now. Incited is if unit initiates combat, grants bonus to units attack speed defense res equal number of spaces from start position to end position, max 3 that turn only. That's pretty good. So the attack speed +6 is visible. You can get an additional attack speed +3 and then another additional attack speed defense res +3, which is a fair amount of stats for a C skill. It's good. Again, it's very Kavline-esque. Like that's really what you're looking at here as the main strength of this thing. I mean, yeah. Again, I keep saying Kavline, Flower Line, because that's probably what you're going to be using this unit with. And I think for Dark Season, I think this is going to be a unit that can really contribute. Let's move on. All right, so we have more shenanigans happening. In case you didn't see the stats before, this unit has a lot of speed, which she needs. That 70% DR is going to be really important, and oh, there we go. 53 speed, that's with the extra 6, so we had 47 before. Guys, that's a lot. This unit has paper-thin defenses, but again, a ton of damage reduction, which again, she's gonna need. So, you can see crazy things happening there, but we're not crazy enough, no, because we have the Golden Seer herself. Okay, really quick. Sorry, we're gonna go ahead, let this roll. The way you can tell the Brave version versus this version is poofy pants. The Brave version has poofy pants, this one does not. No pants on this one. So just keep that in mind as you're watching for these units. For me, it's always easy to get these confused. They are so close together. All right, somehow this doesn't take as much text, but was harder to write, which is crazy to me. So, Quietus Gullveig. We get Slaying, Omni +5, attack speed plus 15% of speed, which she's going to need. Is going to be very important. And then you get damage reduction equals 70% of first attack. We've seen this before. Yeah, that is a lot of damage reduction, and she's going to need it. Then you get full null follow-up, 7 HP after combat, and if unit initiates, grants another action and inflicts gravity. We've seen this before, and particularly combined with full null follow-up. This can be a very hard unit to take down unless you have piercing. I'm still waiting for piercing to show up more. Right now we have it on very few Omni tanks, but it is becoming more and more important. It's why Legendary Lear is so important, but things are about to get crazier. Time is light. We have boost damage equals 45% of speed. You notice there's no true damage on this unit, but there's a lot of damage coming out. We have offensive tempo, which is really important, and if the special procs, grants another action and inflicts gravity on the unit. That's right, 3 actions on a ranged unit. This is insane. Seriously, that is absolutely nuts. And again, Kavline, this unit is fantastic. I cannot wait to get to use this unit. I think she's going to be a lot of fun. I think she's going to be very hard to play against, but I mean, that's so many units right now. So, Summoners. We have Flared Sparrow. We've seen how good that is. Occultist Strike. If unit initiates combat, deals 7 damage to foe as combat begins. So you're getting damage outside of combat, which is a great upgrade to this weapon and kind of fits where we are in the meta right now. You get inflict speed res -4 on foe and deals damage equals 20% of foe's res. So we do actually get true damage through Occultist Strike, which is a fantastic B skill for a lot of units, and I'm going to be curious what the restrictions on that, but I'm guessing that's going to be good. If it's anything like the old skill there, I think it's going to be good for all units. We'll see though. I think this could be a lot of fun on a lot of the your ARD units and pretty much nukes in general. Defense res smoke 3. Honestly, you're going to flop this out probably for some kind of, actually Fatal Smoke 4 would be perfect on her. Otherwise, Colorless Feud, excellent. Summoners, what can I say about this? This is a fantastic unit, and right now, Flyer and Kavlines are just taking over Anima Season, and this unit is going to fit right in. I will say the absolute best skill you're going to get on her on the A skill is attack speed, ARD attack speed. You are going to need to stack as much as you possibly can on this unit. Yeah, just know that, 14 damage is coming off of the opponent before this unit attacks. That is absolutely insane. I know DTM has pushed for us to call the out of combat damage to be the real true damage. And I can't argue with them there. That's about right. But I mean, Cav nukes right now are just ruling the land, and it's interesting. So yeah, you just saw a whole bunch of stuff come off of that unit and then get flattened. What do you do? You're gonna see a whole bunch of other attacks here. You notice the speed of 47, and this base is, again, just a ton. Paper thin otherwise, but we kind of saw that coming. If you have piercing, you can take care of this unit fairly easily. Just know that you're still going to lose 14 HP, which is not insignificant. We're going to jump straight to the stats here. And this is the Mythic Gullveig banner here. And I mean, what is it to say? I think the first priority is going to be colorless. I think Gullveig is the better of the two units, and I think Femortis, and at least you have good fodder with Guinevere, but this entire banner is nuts. I mean, you've got Kvasir, you've got Byleth, and Yuri. Those are three excellent units. I've got them as second. Understand that defense methods in general, you kind of want one-offs and not much more. That's kind of where they sit. I would hold there. But still, this is your chance to get your one-off, and those are good units. Even if you're looking just for fodder, those other two units are fantastic. Depending on where you're sitting, though, 3 is green, and those are two of the best Astromythics right now, and the best Earth Legendary in Robin. And it's tough to argue against that. Fantastic as well. Blue is probably the least favorite of mine, but know that Nerthuz has actually, in my mind, gained value. I think we've seen more of how she's used, and I think she is better than we gave her credit for. Sita has lost a step, but if you want to invest in her, the Gambit build on her is pretty fantastic. And I mean, Ader is okay. She is good fodder. She's not amazing fodder, but yeah. So there's where I have it sit. The one thing I have to say here is colorless is at an all-time low as far as probability of pulling a unit. And so if you're pulling for 2 colors here, spark for Gullveig if you have the Fey Pass. I am very concerned with how hard she is going to be to get. Colorless is just a punishing color right now. Let's get to the tier list though. Looking at Anima Mythics, we went back and forth on this, looking at this banner. I still have Mira first. And the logic there, Gullveig as a unit is very powerful. 3 actions is insane. But Mira is good on any team, and Guidance Mira is insane and can help you in so many different ways, and I still have her in front, but it's very close. Freyr, the only reason he is below Gullveig is because Ketria Balls have lost so much value right now that even though he helps those out, I think they are not the dominant team in the meta right now, and so he helps out a team that is not the absolute best. So that's why I have him the lowest here. As far as the others, I mean, FOMO and Arvel are still very good. We have Duma and Leaf and Thracia in tier 2, and all the way in tier 3 we have good old Oter and his friend. And summoners, yeah, they're hurting and they're waiting for refines sometime soon. So we'll talk more about those as the week goes on, by the way. For Dark Season, we have Kvasir, Embla, and Medius. I'm very close to dropping Embla and Medius. Medius, the only thing that's keeping him up is how unique On Guard is. And as a combat unit, even as a frontline tank, he has lost a step. And you can give him the Scowl skill, and it helps, but he still is just, tier 0, but barely tier 0. I have thought about pulling Bramamond up because Bramamond is kind of ridiculous. Yoon has gained value because of flyer balls and how well she fits into them. Also, those debuffs for some reason, people aren't using Legendary Ramen as much. A lot of that has to do with a lot of the new units. You think of Duo Sanaki, and she gets damage from the opponent's debuffs, and that really hurts any of your Legendary Ramen type teams. Even if you consider Peony doesn't help with the fact that the units like Sanaki go off of debuffs around the unit. That is Peony proof there. And so, yeah. Again, but working with that, I mean, Yoon works so well with those kinds of units, and I think we're going to see more of them to counter Legendary Robin. Tier 2, I've seen some things that say Note should still be high because of the Pathfinder, but Guidance 4 is here, and I feel like Guidance 4 gives better utility on a better unit. I don't know what they're going to do with Trianda. Right now, all she does is go and destroy herself instead of dancing, and that's no good. Hell and Sothis. Sothis should really be a tier lower than Hell. The fact that they're in there together is kind of blasphemy versus Hell. I should almost just leave Sothis off the tier list. But yeah, what do you do? Ranged nukes. I'm very high on Gullveig. I think she is fantastic and is easier to use than Kvasir. Kvasir I think is going to be a bit harder, but it's still a very good unit. That's very high. There was some debate on whether Kvasir or Sanaki should be what order. They're very close. Sanaki is an excellent nuke, so that is debatable. We're going to have to play with the unit before we see more of that. It is tough to put Gullveig in the meta tier because of how Claude and Hinoka define archetypes. I mean, they're that good right now, and I'm not sure if Gullveig's going to be up there. Right now, my guess is yes, but understand those are still two better units than her. But yeah, past that, I still have units that do unique things, like we've got Elise and Lind, who are excellent in their own rights and can do a lot of fun things. And then tier 3, we have Crom. Crom is still excellent, and so is Asker. They're just, as nukes, they're not as good as the others. With supportive skills, though, they can do some fun things. But summoners, I hope your orbs are ready. This is a really fun banner. I'm going to have some more analysis coming as the week goes on. We'll talk about that later, though. Thank you to all the members. You guys are amazing. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon.